Jai Hind everyone. My name is Pradeep Kumar Tripathi. I am assistant professor in IT department. Today we have discussed about the big data lecture. Now, what is big data and how big data can be used in particular scenario? So, big data is basically a large and complex data that cannot be easily handled by the manually or any other traditional tools. So, we need some structured, semi-structured, unstructured data from diverse sources like social media, IoT devices, transactions. There are several channels that we can use mixed type of data like structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. So, how we can easily access and handle that particular data in a particular scenario. So, we need a big data analytics and big data. So, basically we have some data types like structured data, semi-structured and unstructured data. So, we need some images, digital data, videos, and there are some various type of data we have used in a big data analytics. So, first of all, we have read about the evolution and platforms of the big data, why big data used in early databases, and nowadays what type of tools that we can use in particular big data. So, in a scenario, we can see 1916 to 1980, we have early databases like SQL that is developed by the IBM, we can use in 1960 to 80, and after that we have introduced the internet and data warehousing. Then we can use the Google databases, and starting large scale indexing we have used in internet and data warehousing. After that we have used in 2000 we have developed the tool big data and Hadoop. So that is in MapReduce used in 2004 and Apache Hadoop in 2006 we have used for the big data analytics. After revolution of 2000, we have era of 2010 AI, cloud and real-time analysis. We have a rise of NoSQL, cloud platforms like Azure and AWS, and real-time analysis with using the Spark. After that, the era of 2020 and beyond, that is the era of AI computing and quantum computing. So, if we have summarize all these things from 1960 to 2020 and today till today, we have used the different type of tools that handle the big data easily. So, these are the some pictures related from the big data platforms from 1960 to 2020 and the development of the technology. Earlier, we have used the simple databases. After that, we have used the internet and data warehousing. After that, we have used the Hadoop and Apache Hadoop and MapReduce. After that, introduction of the AI and cloud computing, we have used the cloud platforms and AI tools. In 2020, we have used the quantum computing and edge computing and generative AI that we can use in this particular scenario. So, these are the some platforms that we have used in particular big data. And the big data means the large amount of data that we can summarize, we can analyze, and we can use that particular scenario. Suppose we have taken the example of big data. Suppose we have the analysis of Facebook data, either it's Twitter data, either it's LinkedIn data. So, in that particular social media data, we have a mixed type of data. Suppose we have a video, we have a audio, we have image, we have text. So, these are the 4 types of data in a particular one scenario. We have collected these data from the social media platform. Then how we can how we can forward that particular data from one place to another place, or either it is used for the processing purpose. This is the need of big data. In earlier scenario or before the big data, we can easily use the only text data, either image data, either video data. then we can easily transfer from one type of data from one place to another place, either processing from one phase to another phase. But in the particular scenario of big data, because complex data like image, video and mixed type of data we can process from one phase to another phase, then we need to big data tools that we have used easily and effectively, that we can use from that particular data to process that particular data from one phase to another phase. So this is the need of big data, where we use mixed type of data for the processing purpose, for the analysis purpose, for the purpose of benefit. So we need a big data. And the big data, we have already seen the big data history. Now we have discussed about the 5 V's of the data. That means 5 pillars of the big data. What is these pillars of big data? Then the first pillar is volume. Volume means the massive amount of data from terabyte to petabyte generally generated daily. Suppose we want to analysis of that particular Facebook or Twitter or any other social media handler, then we can use that particular data to analyze different type of aspects. Suppose we have a Facebook data and we want to analyze that particular data, what type of like and dislike of data, what type of that particular person wants the videos, what type of their requirements. So how we can analysis? We can collect the data and we can analyze the data. For collection of that data, that is massive amount of data. This is called volume. In the previous scenario, if we can generate the data from some bytes to kilobytes or megabytes or gigabytes, these are not use of the big data tools and big data platforms. When the data range from terabyte to petabytes, that is a huge amount of data generated by daily basis. Suppose like Amazon, Flipkart, and these are the some other common commercial platforms that we can use the huge amount of data. So this data can be analyzed and processed. For this purpose, we want to use big data. In big data, first part is volume. So the volume is huge amount of data from generated from daily. So this is called volume. Second part is velocity. What is mean velocity? Velocity means high speed data generation, processing and analysis of real time. That means if we generate the large amount of data, and the large amount of data can be processed in high speed, because if we want to transfer that particular huge amount of data from one place to another place in a very slow manner or slow speed, then there is no use of that particular data. Because suppose we have collected the data from the Facebook and we want to process that particular data in a 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but if it will take 10 hours, 20 hours, then there will be no use, because the strategy is not applicable, because the market is competitive. The other competitor are showing that particular efficiency. So this time we need some high speed data generation, processing, analysis of real time analysis. Because suppose in the Facebook, suppose we have a two company, one is Amazon, another is Flipkart. So we want to analyze, suppose Amazon analyze the particular data from today, and they will post some offer in tomorrow. If we cannot complete our analysis in today, then how we can promote that particular offer in tomorrow? So that's why we need some speed, high speed data generation, processing and analytics in real time scenario. So there is second pillar is velocity. Third pillar is variety. What do we mean by variety? Variety means we can use the data formats, different type of data formats, because we cannot fix any particular format, because in the social media format, suppose I am using my social media handle, we can post my images in different format. Some other person can post the video from different format. Some other person can put the Excel file. Some other person can put the doc file. So there are some different type of formats are there. So diverse data formats can be used in particular big data. That we include the structured, semi-structured, unstructured. So the pillar variety means diverse data formats we can use. Generally, we can use the structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. That is the use in big data. So there is volume, velocity, and variety. The next pillar is veracity. What do you mean by veracity? Veracity means ensuring the data accuracy, reliability, and trustworthiness. That means if we use that particular data in the large amount of data to particular analysis or particular analytics purpose, so we can ensure that particular data accuracy, reliability, and trustworthiness. That means if we use this type of data, then we can first ensure that particular data is taken from the authentic source. Suppose we have some data export from the Facebook, that is, if we use that particular data for the analysis purpose, if data is fake, so our analysis is also fake. So first we have ensured that data accuracy, that particular data reliability, and trustworthiness. So we can check that particular veracity. Last and fifth pillar is value. What do we mean by value? Value means extracting the meaningful insights from the drive business decision and innovation. In this particular scenario, these data we can use for the decision purpose and business purpose. Suppose we want to, we have a Amazon dealer account, and we can put our product to the customers. So we need some information, that particular analysis, because if we analyze the 1 month data, either one week data, either 1 year data, what type of product that the customer wants in this platform. Suppose we need, we can analyze that particular data. Some earpods are most expensive and most frequent items that can be sold in that particular platform. So we need to identify that particular portion and items in available of that particular platform. So we need some meaningful informations for the purpose of decisions, purpose of business decisions, innovations also, because we want our product is more valuable and more profitable. So these are the 5 pillars that we can use in big data: volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. These are the 5 pillars that we can use for the understanding the business purpose, for understanding the crucial designs or effective or innovations. These are the 5 V's of big data that we can use to challenges and opportunity in managing the vast data sets and design effective big data architecture and support the insights and innovation. So these are the 5 V's that we can use in that particular scenario. Now we can move on big data technology component and importance also, because we have suppose we have used the big data tools and big data platforms, so we need to aware about the components and importance of that particular big data tools. Some general tools are there, some general components are there if for the big data purpose. Suppose we have first component is data storage. What is data storage? The data storage is for the purpose of storing the data. In big data, we can use the distributed file, Hadoop distributed file system that we use for the distributed solution for the data storage. Amazon S3 is also another component tools that we can use for the storage of the data. So some popular platform is SDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, that is used for the data storage purpose. In big data, we can easily store that particular data into the SDFS format. That is a data storage. Next is data processing. After the data storage, we want to process that particular data from one phase to another phase, or one place to another place. We want some framework like Hadoop. Hadoop can use the batch processing system, that we can combine one batch from the similar type of job and we can process. There are two type of platforms that are available for the data processing. One is Hadoop, another is Spark. Hadoop is used for the batch processing and Spark is used for the real-time analysis. In the real-time analysis, we want to some analysis based on the real-time scenario. In Hadoop, we can make a batches from small batches or similar type of jobs in a one particular batch and process. This is the framework that we use in Hadoop. And the Spark, we want live streaming. Suppose we have a cricket commentary, the cricket score. That is the example of Spark. So this is the tools that we can use in data storage and data processing. Next is data ingestion. What is data ingestion? That we can use data from processing purpose. In framework, we can process the data, but after the processing of data, the tools that can take the input and give the output or processing purpose. So tools like Apache Kafka, Flume, Scoop, that is used for the data ingestion. Ingestion means importing the data into the database, either into the table, either into the tools. So that is the data ingestion. After data ingestion, we want to some analytics purpose. That is, analytics is based on the AI or a deep learning. So we want to use data analytics and AI. That is the TensorFlow and PyTorch is the tools that we use for the analytics purpose. And after the analytics, we want that particular analytics into the visual formats. Visual format means, suppose we have some data like a 10 student record, we want to analyze in big data technology. Then we can data storage of 10 student, and after that process that particular similar type of data in a batch format. After the data ingestion, we want some analytics. Suppose we want to analyze the result of that particular that 10 students. That result shows into the visual form. That means some chart form, some tabular formats. Then we can use some tools, because 10 student is very less data. We can use 10 crore data of the student, and we can process that particular data in big data. Big data means large amount of data that we can process and analyze that particular data. Not for big data is not used for small data. I am just taking the example of the student, but we cannot process small data into the big data, because if we can process the small data into the big data, that is the disadvantage of big data. That not give the correct result of the tools, because the tools are developed for the large amount of data. That training is the large amount of data. So we can use large amount of data for the processing of big data. So in the data visualization, dashboards are the Tableau and Power BI. These are the tools that we can use the analyze data to the chart form, either pictorial form, either image format, either chart form. That can be used in Power BI or Tableau. After the data visualization, some security issue and government policies we can also follow, because compliance and access control, we can use the government policies for the purpose of big data analysis. With the big data analysis, if we cannot follow the policy of the government, then we cannot ensure the security and e-governance. So we can strictly follow the policy of the government. So these are the key components of the big data technology that we can use in particular scenario. So these are the components. Now the importance of big data, we can move on. Importance of big data. What is the importance of big data? In the big data, we have a large amount of data, and that large amount of data we can analyze that particular data in very effective manner, and that gives the some meaningful information for the purpose of decisions in business decisions. So first, importance of enhance the decision making in the informed choices through the large data set analysis. If we have a large amount of data, so it is the very typical task to analyze that particular data and improve the decision making. So big data can easily analyze that particular large amount of data, and we also enhance that particular decision making with the help of big data. In cost effective, because the optimized process and resource utilization in big data, so this optimized process and utilization of the resources, we can also improve that particular cost of the module. Then we can also compliance of the particular module. Suppose we want some personalized customer experience. Suppose we have a login of Netflix, Amazon Prime, and these are the some platforms that available, OTT platforms that are available for the personalized customer experience. That means we can take that particular login for our requirement. These Netflix and Amazon and other platforms also give the some quotation. Suppose like a super plan, premium plan, basic plan. These are some plans that you can take from Netflix or either Amazon and other platform also, because these have some rights in there. There is some extra rights in there. There is some limited rights are there, basic, prime, super plans. So this is the personalized customer experience, also the importance of big data. Competitive advantages. Competitive advantages means staying ahead by analyzing the market trends. Suppose we have analyzed that particular large amount of data, so we can easily predict that particular market analysis of that particular product. Suppose we have some bike or some other product we want to sell in the market. If we don't know the analysis of the market, what type of customer need for that particular bike features, so how we can make the product competitive? So we need analysis of market trends. So this is the importance of big data. Another important is fraud detection and security. Identify the fraud transactions and threats available in the market. Suppose we have analysis of the large amount of data, so there are some shortcomings are there. That shortcomings is fixed in that particular analysis part. So we can easily skip that particular fraud or security issue. So this is the importance of big data. Next is scientific and healthcare innovation. We can accelerate the scientific and healthcare because we have a large amount of data and we can analyze that particular data. After the analysis of that particular data, we can accelerate our scientific and healthcare innovations in the field of medical, science and technology also. Next is real-time monitoring and IoT data. There are some various applications are there that we can use the data from smart devices in the various applications. So these are the some importance that we can use for the big data. Big data means large amount of data that we can analyze and process and give the output for the purpose of business decisions. So this is the summary of our big data component and importance that we can use in that particular scenario. After the diverse component and analysis of that particular component and importance, we can use the diverse applications of the big data, where we can use that particular big data in a real-time scenario. So some applications are there in big data. Suppose first is healthcare and medical research. There is disease prediction and personalized treatment, AI diagnostics. There are healthcare and medical research. There are lots of innovations and research are there in healthcare and medical. So we need some analysis of that particular big data. So it first uses of healthcare and medical research. Second is the retail and e-commerce. We can know the customer behavior, personalized recommendation and demand forecasting. We can improve our big data analysis. Smart cities and IoT, where there are several uses of the big data, because in the traffic management and public safety, environmental monitoring, we can use that particular big data analysis also. In education and learning platforms are there. There are several platforms for the learning of e-learning. So adaptive learning and student performance analytics are there. In every platform, we offer some courses. After the courses, we give the exams, and student performance analytics are there. In every platforms, these are the adaptive learning and performance analytics are there. So that is based on the big data. After that, entertainment and social media is also the example of the big data. Streaming, recommendations and audience analytics are there in entertainment and media. Suppose we have a live cricket announcement, or live cricket scores are updated streaming by streaming. So this is the example of entertainment and media. In the big data, banking and financial sectors also there, that we can use that particular scenario. In fraud detection, risk management and algorithm trading, there are some banking and finance related fields where we can use that particular big data analytics. In social media and digital marketing also there, we can use the big data analytics. Sentiment analysis, targeted advertising and influencer insight. Targeted advertising means, suppose we need some tools or some courses, so we can suggest that particular course to the particular customers. So for the targeted advertising, we want to analyze that social media data, how many numbers of the customer that can use that particular data, or that particular interest, showing the interest in that particular advertisement or either content. So we need sentiment analysis, advertising and influencer insights. After the manufacturing and supply chain management, government, public sector and agriculture, food industry, there are several fields we can use the diverse applications of the database. So this is the total first lecture. We can summarize. We already teach the how the big data can use, big data history, big data application, big data components. So this is the summary of that particular lecture. In next lecture, we can explore some big data technologies and platform and tools also.